Hello everyone, this is Sodhi from CAAN Wings Consultants Private Limited. Hello once again. So this is a quick roundup video, I would say, just to keep you updated on what's happening and what exactly should you be ready for. The interim list that was issued by most of the states in Australia has already got a lot of people who received nominations. Now, a clarification I'd like to give you here once again, that the interim list was primarily meant for those who are currently living in Australia, and the states were very keen, rather they have preferred to give nominations to those who've been living in a particular state and working in one of the occupations that have been identified as critical shortage occupation. So the total number of nominations given out during the interim lists was 1,715. So that's a very small number, I would say. The offshore nominations run into thousands. So clearly this was a short window for those people who are already living in, let's say, Victoria, South Australia, and the government tried to get them the nomination and have them apply for a visa. And this was particularly meant for those who are currently residing in Australia, who are onshore applicants. And an interesting trend I have noticed here is that while Victoria issued about 600 nominations for subclass 190 visa, South Australia issued around 600 nominations for subclass 491 visa. So clearly we can see a trend there that South Australia was more keen on inviting people for, or let's say had more quota for 491 visa, and Victoria had more quota for 190 visa. Now coming down to offshore migrants. So the interim list, the critical shortage scenario is done with. You don't have to really look into that anymore. Now please focus on the quotas that are going to be released for the states on 6th of October, and the state nominations that are going to open up post 6th October. For example, the state of South Australia is going to start its applications somewhere around the mid of October, and we are very optimistic that all other states will follow, and they'll all be opening up their applications. Now before that, now since we have almost got about a month, we have a lot of clients who want to probably, wait for a greater certainty. They kind of feel that, once the nominations open up, we'll be more certain that our occupation is in demand, and that is the time we will start with our immigration process. I really don't see how you see yourself benefiting from that approach, simply because the nominations, as I keep on telling in all my videos, that nomination is a second step in a 190 or a 490 visa application. The first step is to get your skills assessment through. So since the nominations are issued on a first come first serve basis, and there are a large number of applicants who are seeking nominations and there are limited places, you have to be sure that you are ready with your skills assessment, you are ready with your English proficiency scores, and your EOI is all done and updated by the first week of October to be able to avail of the nominations, which primarily means that anybody who has not yet started the immigration process, this is probably a final call to you. Please get started fast. In fact, I do have to take a call on routing the applications through priority processing or fast track for a lot of applicants, because I'm aware of the fact that by the time these applicants end up getting their positive skills assessment, the nomination portal would open and close, so they may have to wait for a longer time to get the nomination. So in order to take advantage of the nominations that will be available in the month of October, that is next month, we have to take a lot of applications through the fast track process. Now, for those of you who are waiting because they think that there's still a looming uncertainty with respect to the occupation lists, some people are even voicing their concerns about a probability of the list undergoing a change in December. Please let me tell you, anything that is not published on the Immigration Department's website is a hearsay, is a rumor. Kindly do not waste your time and energy and base your decisions on something that's never really going to happen. So we do not have any official confirmation about any lists being changed. In fact, the yearly analysis that they have flagged a very few marginal occupations that face a possibility of being removed, and those are the occupations that are not going to really affect applications at large. And there is a possibility of certain occupations being added, but by and large we do not see any many changes or revisions to the occupation list, which means it's pretty much going to stay what it is. Now, a quick word of advice for those in the IT and the engineering professionals, that while you are eligible to get your nominations with just 65 points, I strongly recommend that IT and engineering professionals try to go for a score of 70 instead of 65, and do try to achieve an English proficiency score of 7 bands in each section or its equivalent, because we've seen in the past that states that list IT and engineering occupations on the demand list by and large require this kind of a score, that is 70 on the point test and 7 across each in the English proficiency test. And for rest of the occupations, I think 65 points is good enough for you to go with. I'm in no position to predict whether the states will be asking for a higher English proficiency score. They could be just even asking for 6 each, so nothing to fret about there. So that's about it. Please do send us your resumes. I have been getting a lot of resumes from people who are already done with their first step. And now again, a question from them that I'd like to take up with you is, a very common question that is asked is, how long does it take for the EOI to be evaluated, or when does the reply for the EOI come in? So please let me tell you here that no reply for EOI comes. EOI is basically, once you've got your skills assessment done, in order to claim points for you with the Immigration Department of Australia, we claim your points on the skill select system by lodging an expression of interest. That is something we as consultants have to do ourselves. Ordinarily, it should not take us more than about, let's say, an hour or two to lodge your EOI, and that's it. There is no reply that is to be awaited. Once we're done with the EOI, then we wait for the states to open up their nomination applications. Yes, you cannot lodge a nomination application without having your EOI lodged first. So obviously, once we get a skills assessment, we immediately go ahead and lodge the EOI, followed by applying for a nomination. So those of you who've already got their positive skills assessments and they're just sitting and thinking that probably some state will come and invite them, please forward your skills assessments to us. We'll look into it. We'll probably be in a position to tell you what visa subclass you have more likelihood of getting nomination for, and what states are more likely to offer nomination based on the past trends. So that's it. Please feel free to call us on 78498 78498, or email us on CaanWings@gmail.com. That is CAANWINGS@gmail.com. We'll be happy to look at your profiles. We'll be happy to answer any questions. And like I said, it's a final call. You cannot afford to delay it more than this, because we're around the corner. We had just in time to move your application for a priority processing, get a positive skills assessment, lodge your EOI, and be all set for the state nominations that are now just about to open up for offshore applicants. So that's it. Until next time, bye-bye, and please take care.